How's it going, everybody? Merry Halloween, Happy Halloween, however you want to say it. Glad you made it. It's Friday, so you made it past day. You made it to the weekend, so I hope everybody's got plans or something fun to do over the weekend. You got kids or grandkids. Hope you took them out trick or treating, got all the candies and the big candy bars. I remember we used to get big candy bars, and it was like we go change our costume and go back and get another big candy bar, one of the full size ones. But yeah, that's what we did back in the 80s. I don't know what kids do nowadays. Sit on their phones, get on their phones and be like trick or treat. I think that's what they do. Could be wrong. Some some uh, some towns around where I live. I live in the Midwest, and it's like high school football season, and this really just rattles my chain. Where it's Friday night, it's literally October 31st, Halloween, trick or treat day, and these towns decided that they don't want it to they don't want it to clash with their high school football games, so they postponed Halloween until Saturday. And then I just don't understand it. I just don't, I do kind of understand it. I understand it because, well, the school probably, at the end of the day, probably loses a lot of revenue and hot dog and Coke sales or whatever. I know some of them charge to get in, watch a football game. You got to keep the lights on and keep the grass mowed. So I guess I can understand it. But, you know, I just hope that, well, I can't say hope. I'm just glad that Christmas doesn't fall in football season because, by God, they'd want to be canceling Christmas so that football can play. I was thinking about that earlier, talking to my boss, and I remember, I remember Monday Night Football was a big deal. Monday Night Football, and now I think it's Monday and Thursday. So, like, Monday wasn't enough, so now they got Monday night, and then they got Thursday night, and then Saturdays for college and Sundays for pro. And it's like, I'm not a sports fan. I don't watch baseball. I don't watch football. But I just wonder, like, how much football is enough? But I guess it's only a season. There's baseball and basketball season, so I guess to each their own. I like to fish and ride motorcycles. At least I used to. Now I mess around on YouTube, which reminds me, if you're watching this and you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. 9541. It says it right here on this chalkboard. You can see it right there. 9541. I'm on Rumble. If you happen to have a Rumble channel, go to 95sporty on Rumble. And there's another platform called Kick. Kick. And I'm at 95sporty on Kick also. That one's new. I'm still trying to figure that one out. Just trying to figure Rumble out. But anyway, those are the three that I'm on right now. Trying to expand a little bit. You can see I got a little bit of a studio going on. I got this nice mic. I got a camera up here. I'm not using my laptop anymore. I'm using a camera. So I'm pretty proud of myself. Proud of myself for building this. Proud of myself for how I think I have 225 subscribers on this channel. I think there's 140 videos. So I'm pretty proud of myself over that. I don't do much. I have an Xbox I play, and I watch a lot of YouTube. That's what I am, as I am a professional YouTube watcher. And that's what I do with my time because, well, I can't jog anymore. Yeah, I can't jog anymore. Speaking of which, I'm still taking meds. They make me feel pretty good. I definitely have more energy and a little bit active. I'm not going to lie. I'm concerned about, I think about the long-term effects. But, I guess the question is, and this is an honest question: do you live a year where you don't have any energy? And I don't know a year. I'm just picking a number. But do you live a year where you don't have any ambition? You just kind of sit around and do nothing, or do you live 8 months where you have like lots of ambition and a lot of energy and you want to do things? And that's a reasonable question. I don't have the answer to it. I know I got tired of feeling awful, so now I'm taking a dumb amount of medication that I normally wouldn't take, but I feel pretty good. It's got effects. I think I've talked about that a little bit on here, and I've been taking them over probably close to 2 weeks now. And man, can I eat. I think I've put on 10 pounds in the last 2 weeks because that's all I want to do is eat. I can't even help myself. I know, like, I'll sit here and I'll say, man, you shouldn't eat. And then I'll get up and go get something to eat. Or I'll eat a plate of food and I'll be like, man, I want another plate. And I'll eat a whole nother plate of food. And that sounds awful, but I'd rather eat than, I guess, not eat. People get sick, they lose their appetite. I sure as hell haven't lost my appetite. I definitely am eating. But I just don't want to gain too much weight. Another side effect is puffy face. I don't know if I have a puffy face, but oh yeah, beard growth. No, not really. It's not beard growth, just puffy face. I don't know if my face is puffy, but that's something to look forward to in the future, I guess. But starting Monday, I'm going to start tapering down on them a little bit. Like I said, I hope this doctor I've got is on to something, and I'm going to get a little bit sidetracked here, but I was diagnosed 2.5 years ago with pulmonary fibrosis. And in short, what that is that's a stiffening of the lungs, like the lung material. Excuse me. And when that happens, they're not as pliable. So the air that I take in, it's not getting pushed through my lungs enough to get oxygen to my body, to my organs, because of the stiffening of that. So I have this air hose, this tube. For those that don't know what this is, this delivers a high concentration of oxygen. So what little my lungs do work, they're getting a high concentration of oxygen through this hose. And so they don't have to work as hard for me to get oxygen to my organs. And that's, not only have I educated myself on that, but I can feel it. There's times where I've went way low on air for whatever reason, doing too much. And that's what happens is my kidneys will start to hurt. I've had chest pains over it. So I know, like, it starts working on your organs. So you don't want that to happen. So one thing I can say is I've got a new doctor, not new. I've had him for, I don't know, 6 or 8 months. And his theory after looking at blood work, well, let me add this in there. The start of all this, I got Lyme disease. I got bit by a tick. I got Lyme disease. And a lot of Lyme disease, a lot of what that does is it creates a lot of inflammation in your body. And so he just wondered, because of x-rays that he's looked at and CAT scans and blood work, he said some stuff just wasn't very explainable. So the several doctors that gave me the pulmonary fibrosis, I don't know what you call it, where they said that I had pulmonary fibrosis, he said he wasn't so sure. Diagnosis, that's the word I was looking for. He said he wasn't so sure because there were a couple things that just didn't make sense with that. So what he was talking about was, I think it's called vasculitis. And what vasculitis is inflammation in your lungs, and they're inflamed enough to where the oxygen can't move through them. And kind of different ways to get into the same place. The air's not making it through my lungs. So what he wanted to do, I think it was about 3 or 4 months ago, is he wanted to do a biopsy on my lung, one of my lungs. And what the purpose was to make sure that, I had fibrosis, like the gnosis was, or, maybe something else. So what had happened is I made an appointment and I went and personally talked to the surgeon. He's a robotic surgeon that would be doing it, where they would literally make a little incision and go in and cut a small piece. I say small piece, it's just real small, part of my lung off, and then they would stitch it back together so that it would seal, and then they would do a biopsy on it to see exactly, what the material was. And I don't like the idea of that, but, I was certainly on board. And then he told me because my lungs are compromised and in not that good a shape, that there's a chance they'd have me on a ventilator, and there's a chance that when they got everything done and pulled me off the ventilator, that my lungs just wouldn't restart. And there wouldn't be much they could do about it. Wow. That really made me pump the brakes on that a little bit. And I thought about it and had a couple conversations with people that are close to me, and I wondered, pulmonary fibrosis, there isn't really much of a treatment for it. It's progressive, and it progresses at different rates, and they can give you medication that kind of slows that rate down, but the efficacy of that is just like, it's like barely in the double digits, so it doesn't really work that well. So there's not a whole lot that can be done. But vasculitis, they can treat you with medication that can like knock some of that inflammation down. And there's pros and cons. You have to worry about, getting sick and stuff like that, respiratory sickness, because your immune system gets banged around a little bit. And so I asked this pulmonologist, my doctor, if he could just treat me for vasculitis, since there wasn't anything, we weren't doing anything about the fibrosis. And yeah, he agreed. So that's what I'm doing now, is taking medication for vasculitis. And all in all, I can't say he's wrong. I mean, I definitely feel better. And I take a steroid, I take pain medication, and I take an antibiotic. And I don't know if the three of those things are masking what's going on or if it actually is better. From my point of view, better's better. And and I don't know, like I heard a little bit ago, like I don't know if, do you want 5 years of sitting in a chair and not being able to move, or do you want 4 years of being able to move around and enjoy yourself? And I think I'm leaning towards the latter. But stuff like that, you really don't want to come up with an indefinite, like decision or whatever on it. You just kind of want to roll with it. And that's basically where I'm right now is I'm just kind of rolling with it, and I'm enjoying things and the best that I can. I miss a lot of stuff. I was on a small fishing team where we would go out in Lake Erie and we'd fish for these big 8-10 pound walleye. I say 8 and 10 pounds. That's what we were going for. We caught a lot of smaller ones for sure. But it's going on right now, and it's cold, and there's waves. Lake Erie can be dangerous, and we were out there in a boat, nice boat. But there was a lot of danger as far as falling overboard. It'd be cold. We'd fish out there sometimes where there would water that would splash up on the boat would turn to ice, and it would be slippery. But it was a lot of fun, and we were fishing in a tournament with big prizes, and 2.5 years ago, I had to stop doing that because if I hit that cold water, I'd be done. And we special suits that float and all that stuff, but it wasn't much as I liked it. It wasn't worth the risk. So I missed that. You can see on my hats back here, Harley Davidson hats. I've rode motorcycles my whole life. In the last 30 years, I've rode Harleys, and 25, 30 years, I rode Harleys, and I had to get rid of. I can't do that stuff anymore. So there's some accepting of not just getting older. I am getting older, but getting sick. You just have to accept some things and make your priorities, and that's what I did. Nobody forced me to do anything. My boss, my partner, she certainly hasn't forced me to do anything. And to put it out there, I don't know what I would do without her. She definitely takes care of me. I know I'm probably hard to deal with at times, but up until now, man, she's done a superb job. So don't think I'm here doing this by myself, because I am not. But that leads me around like I never thought I'd be, looking forward to or looking for reasons to make some YouTube videos like I do, and I do. I look for reasons to sit here in front of this computer or my phone and talking to this microphone and just put my voice, put my opinion out there. I look forward to it, and throughout talking with a couple different people and having feelings myself, and I certainly don't have a lot of money invested in this stuff. It's just there's a lot of work because I'm not a computer guy, so it's just like this whole new world. But I'm really proud of myself because I've got this set up real nice. Once again, my partner, she allows me to have this little space in our spare bedroom. And I had to buy a laptop, and as a Father's Day gift, I got some stuff from doing videos and YouTube videos and podcasts and stuff. I've always had my trusty iPhone, and that's what started it all. And I don't know, maybe get your opinion if you'd like to go back and look at my early videos where I was sitting in my chair holding my iPhone videos, and then go from that, my last videos, to my new videos, and see if I've made a difference. I think I've come quite a difference. I think I've come, quite a ways. I know my little studio here is quite a bit better than, sitting in my living room, muting the TV, muting the YouTube so I could make the video. So like I say, and I'm proud of that. And it might sound simple, it might sound stupid to some people, but sitting around eating and playing Xbox and then actually having something to look forward to. It's within 25 feet of my oxygen concentrator. Pretty happy about it. So with that being said, throw me some support, man. Give me some subscribers. I've started a couple other channels on a couple other different platforms that I mentioned. I'm not going to give up on YouTube, and I'll explain that. I'll explain that real easy. YouTube, I've got over 140 videos, 225 subscribers, and I'm not doing this to make money by no stretch. But the goals, the hurdles I have to meet in order for things to be monetized, they're like so far out there I can't even see them. And that's okay, because that's not why I do it. But I was told by several people that do this kind of thing that Rumble's the place to be. Free speech, free speech, free speech. Well, I don't talk about things that are like, I don't talk about things that I'd be concerned about free speech. But so I decided to go to Rumble. Got to Rumble. I think I've got 18 subscribers there. I'm going to say I made like 10 or 12 videos. I've taken some of the videos from my other platform and put on there, so I've got more on there now. But they've gave me 14 cents. And 14 cents, I mean, I don't even know if you could buy, I don't know what you could buy with 14 cents. That's not the point. My point is, in the best way that I can word it, YouTube doesn't recognize me for putting this effort in. I have to reach these humongous goals in order for them to even recognize that, I'm just some chump with a sickness that's like looking for something to do and having fun doing it. And Rumble, hey, they throw me a dime and 4 pennies and say, hey, at least you're trying. And it's just like, they could throw me as like, hey, good job, 95 Sporty, and I would be stoked over it. But so that's the whole purpose. I'm not gonna abandon this channel by any stretch. I like YouTube. YouTube was the first I learned as far as like operating it is concerned. So it's a lot easier for me. There's a couple things that I wish were different. I like doing short. I like doing 3-minute short videos, and I can't do them on here because they were designed for this thing. And you can make you can make and I've said this before in the video, so I'm just kind of like beating this horse again, but you can make a 3-minute short video, bada boom, bada bing, just push a couple buttons on your smartphone and you're there. And here, you basically have to record the video and then upload it, which is, I mean, I've learned how to do, so that's not that big of a deal. But boy, man, smartphones sure make things easy when it's designed that way. And I do a lot of live videos. Because I just talk, man. I don't script things. I'm not trying to create a show with a script and, try to get as many people in here as I can, just for the sake of doing it. I just talk. And anybody that watches my videos knows that I'll go one direction, I'll go the other direction, and I'll meet back. And I might talk about something I talked about a month ago. I mean, it really doesn't matter. Building this little studio, I got this guy right here. I voted for him. I'd vote for him again. I agree with a lot of things that he's doing. With that being said, he's not perfect, but I like the stirring up that something like this guy would do by putting him back there. That's why he's back there. For some people, that right there, stir him up a little bit, and I'm okay with it. I'm who I am. I'm not going to change who I am, and I try to live and let live, but that don't always work, I guess. But that's kind of how I try to do it. Speaking of this guy, where's he at? This guy right here. What's going on with EBT and the food stamp program? I hope it doesn't spark violence, and I say it like that because there's a long conversation to go with it for sure. But people do some horrendous, crazy, violent stuff when they're hungry. If you all know the story of Donner Pass, back when they were settling this country, and the Donner Party got stuck in the snow, in the deep snow, and they turned to cannibalism over the winter because they left late and they got stuck and couldn't go no place, and they ran out of food, and they were eating their boots, and it was just horrendous. And then they decided to resort to the ultimate crazy things when people get hungry. A story not so long ago was I think it was a South American soccer team. They crashed in the Alps or in the Andes, or I don't remember exactly which mountain, but it was cold, and they were stranded. They thought help was coming, and there was no help coming, and they were there for a while, and they lost one of their guys, and same thing. So I guess the point is when people get hungry, they do some, you never know what they're going to do. And I read a couple of days ago, so I'm not going to be exact on the numbers because I don't have that kind of brain, but excuse me, I read that about, I'll say 4 years ago, the EBT food stamp program was like $4.5 billion that was being paid out with a B. $4.5 billion. That's a lot of money. And then you fast forward to today, and it's $11.4 billion. So if you think $4.5 billion is a lot of money, $11.4 billion is a lot. So we have to consider, number one, who's paying that? Number two, why are they paying it? And I've watched like everybody else, I'm not there, but I've watched the TikTok videos, and I've watched the, different YouTube videos where people are going to the store and they're like getting 2 or 3 carts, and they've got Pop-Tarts and potato chips and all this convenient stuff. And I've even seen like shrimp and crab legs and all kinds of stuff, food that's being bought with a debit card that the American people are paying for, that they can't even afford a bologna sandwich a lot of times. And that sounds silly, but like that's the truth. I know there's people that use store brand stuff because they don't have the money, because they're not on EBT programs, and they're taking care of themselves. Meanwhile, there's people that are getting their rent paid, they're getting medical bills paid, and they're getting $2, $3, $800, $2,000 or $3,000 in EBT food stamps, and they're like eating whatever, cases of soda, Kool-Aid gushers, Klondike bars. It's like all kinds of stuff. And I'm sorry, but if you and I go out for lunch and you don't have the money, you kind of have to go where I want to go to eat because I'm the one paying for it. You can't demand McDonald's if I want to go to Burger King because that's what you want. And it sounds silly, but that's kind of what's happened here. I like the idea of USDA government cheese and government meat. And when I say government, just like USDA, something that's not fancy. It's not a lot of frills. It's not a lot of sugar. It's not a lot. It's healthy food that you're not going to starve to death, but you're not going to be able to, pop it into the microwave in the morning. So you don't have to cook. You're going to have to cook. And if you say you can't work because you got 9 kids, so you can't work, that's why you're on the EBT. By God, you should stand in front of the stove and cook food for them at least. So that's my opinion on that. And some people disagree, some people agree. It seems like anytime anybody says anything about it, they resort to the folks and the people that need it. And I don't think anybody, myself included, nobody wants to take from that. Nobody at all wants to take from that. But the ones that are totally dependent on it and demanding that the United States pay for their food bills however they want. There's people that are saying, the government shouldn't tell me what I'm going to eat and what I ain't going to eat. Well, that's true. But if the government's paying for it, by God, somebody should be able to say that. So, yeah, that's one of the things this guy's recently done that I really can't disagree with. It's a harsh thing. Just like the border, it's a harsh thing. Nobody wants, I don't think anybody wants, any rational person wants humans or people to be abused by their government or threatened by their government. But I don't think that's necessarily what's happening. A lot of it's financial reasons. And, this country gives billions and billions and billions of dollars to other countries. And then there are people come here and claim they don't have money to even feed them. So they have to come here to work to send money home. So it's just like, it's this huge machine. And it's gotten to the point the older I've gotten, I've realized that like these systems are not broken. And unfortunately, a lot of people say, the healthcare system's broken. And it's not broken. It's designed that way. It's designed to keep people thinking that it's broken, but it's functioning the way that it was designed to work. Look like the border crisis. They're like, oh, it's a crisis. The border laws are broken. And they're not. They're not. If the laws are followed, everything will run pretty smooth. When politicians decide to not enforce certain laws, and things start happening, and then it becomes the norm, and then when it gets cut off, everybody thinks, oh my God, it's the end of the world. Bottom line is it's not the end of the world. Things are just made up different. People look at things different. And we got to get through it. We just got to get through it. Unless 3-Eye Atlas, unless that's a real thing. No, you ain't got to get through nothing. Which I talk about that. I've talked about that quite a bit. And I'm not saying it is or it isn't. Hell, I don't know. I read a thing today where they said it was breaking up. So I know Joe Rogan said it was made mainly of nickel, and it's pretty flat, which is odd for a comet. I think yesterday or today I read that it had changed course. Comets don't usually do that. Have slight alteration in their direction. But then again, I'm not a professional. I'm a professional YouTube watcher. Which reminds me, a new copper bottle. I read someplace it was really healthy to drink from copper, so now I got this copper bottle. I drink a lot of water too. I drink 3 or 4 of these things in a day, and for a guy like me, that's a lot of water. I normally wouldn't drink a bottle of water a day. But things change. Things change for sure. So anyway, that's kind of a little bit of an update on me. Fall weather outside. Things have cooled off quite a bit. Not complaining about it. Got some things coming up here in the next couple months, and then into the spring. So we got Thanksgiving and Christmas coming, a couple birthdays. So got some things to look forward to. I'm not looking forward to snow coming, but in the Midwest it's coming, whether we like it or not. So yeah, just things to prepare for and that sort of stuff. So anyway, I've been rambling on for 32 minutes now. So I'm going to sign out of here. But I'd like to remind you, if you're watching the video, and I'm not going to say I don't care if you like it. Of course I want you to like it, but you don't have to like it to subscribe. And there's a few promises I'll make you. Number one, first and foremost, I'm not going to send you a W-2. So it doesn't cost you anything. Nobody's going to know other than, you get into this point in the video and you subscribing on there, but nobody's going to come and charge you money. It's not going to cost you anything. I'm not going to put you on blast and put you on, some crazy website someplace, or I'm not going to do any of that. Secondly, I will not come around, knock on your door, knock on your windows and beg you, please subscribe to my channel. I'm just not going to do that. It's just something we have to come to some agreement that if you're here watching it, I just appreciate if you subscribe and then come back. You can even like, subscribe, and share. That's what they always say. That'd be cool to me. That'd really help me out. It'd make me smile. It'd make me happy if I could get to, what's the next milestone? I think it's 500. If I get to 500 subscribers, something that's a hurdle that I have to do. So I'm not quite halfway there. I know view time is it's something like 1 million hours or 1 million minutes of view time or something. And I'm only at 6,000. So got a long way to go. Not necessarily trying to get monetized for the money. I'm on disability, so it would affect all that. And that's just not necessarily something I want to do. But they're goals that are set. And, I'm just trying to meet them. I have a good time doing it. I have a good time thinking about it. So those are 2 things. Another thing that I'll do is if you subscribe to my channel, I will make it a point to subscribe to your channel. So I've done pretty good about that so far as I know. Anybody that I can that has a public channel, when they subscribe to me, I do my best to go back and subscribe to them, because my subscription to them matters just as much as your subscription means to me. So there's that. Something else I'd like to just briefly talk about is I get discouraged because it seems like bigger channels, and I'll use kind of like an extreme here, but there's bigger channels that have a couple million subscribers, and a small channel like mine, all they'd have to do is just say my name on their channel, and I'd probably gain 5,000 subscribers. But nobody does that, and I just it just kind of, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm not gonna say it hurts my feelings, but it's just like I can't make a lot of sense out of it. I know it's money and it's business, but come on, like how am I gonna hurt? How am I gonna hurt with 225 subscribers? How am I gonna hurt somebody with 1 million or 5 million? There was a what was the channel? It was called like the Outdoor Boys. He was a guy in Alaska, had like 3 young sons and a wife, and he had like 5 million subscribers. And I don't understand how big channels like that don't set up time, a couple videos where they just like give shout outs to people. I certainly will. Like, I have these. You can see I have these. There's one right here. This is all my stuff. If you want one of those, get in touch with me. I'll give you one. If you got one, send it my way. I'll promote it. This right here. This is a guy. I'll promote him. I don't know if you can get that in there, but like, yeah, I'll promote this stuff. This is something. I mean, I've got this stuff around. I promote this stuff. Rowdy's Barbecue, Pittsburgh, PA. It's not going to weigh on me any. So if you've got a larger channel, let's support each other, man. I mean, I'm not asking you to just say, hey, 95 Sporty, he's the guy. You can say that, but then get in touch with me and I'll promote you. Send me a sticker. I'll hold it up and I'll be like, hey, this is good stuff. If you're ever in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, hit these guys up. They've sponsored me a little bit, sent me a t-shirt. I've got Pittsburgh Podcast. That's another one. He sent me some of his stuff and I'll support these guys. There's what is this? The Dude Podcast. That's one. I'll support these guys. I just think everybody needs to help each other out. The world needs that. The world needs for everybody to help each other out. That's what we need. That would be, I'm not going to say a better place, but certainly I would think it would be a better place if we all just helped each other out a little bit more. And it's not about the money. Trust me, it's not about the money. I'm not trying to make, I'd like to make millions and millions of dollars, but given my medical expenses, given the disease that I have, it really wouldn't serve me right. Because then I would lose the benefits that I appreciate now, that I worked a lot of hard years for. Never planned on getting sick, but I'm glad that I worked as hard as I did over the years, because it's able to keep my lights on and keep things going here. So yeah, and I'm just saying it like that because the truth is if I was making a bunch of money on YouTube, if I ever made a bunch of money on any of these platforms, that would take from what I've got right now, and I don't want to do that. But I'd like to build the channel. It doesn't necessarily have to be making money at it. I like building it. I like talking about things. I really like when people get in here on the chat. I like when they get in here on the chat and say things. And there, I said something. No, it's not an empty chat. But anyway, it's Friday night. It's almost 1 a.m. So I'm going to get off here. But I appreciate anybody that watches this video. I truly appreciate it. And come back and watch some of my future videos. I'll watch my past videos. And God bless y'all. Have a good evening.